programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most important that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now therefore, I, Cindy Grove, Mayor of Valley, do hereby recognize the week of May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our Professional Municipal Clerk, Christy Donnermeyer, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the community they represent. So thank you, Christy, for this very long proclamation to honor you. I'm just kidding. All right, and these will be posted on the council chamber after the meeting. Okay, number 9, Certificate of Appreciation. Greg Kava, can you come up here, please? Woo! We would like to recognize Greg Kava. He has been on the Planning Commission for 30 years and just got off, I'll meet you over there in a second, just got off this month actually. He was appointed in 1994. So we appreciate your service to the city and all of the work you've done on the Planning Commission. Thank you.
I had no idea it was 30 years until Cindy said 1994.
Yes.
So I can tell you for sure, for the last 20 years, it's been impossible to get fired off the plant.
We don't fire volunteers. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good job, Brian.
And also, I forgot I was going to acknowledge Brian Campbell, who got appointed to a couple different boards today. Sorry, gotta go back. Board of Appeals and Board of Adjustments. If those of you that didn't know him, raise your hand. Thanks, Brian.
Every year. Good luck.
Okay, next we have a life-saving award, and I'm going to read you an email from Valley Fire that we received back in December. This is from Assistant Chief Vince Sunday. I just wanted to pass along a message commending Officer Willman for his actions at a rescue call yesterday evening. We were dispatched with VPD to a drug overdose call, and it was quickly upgraded to CPR in progress after we went en route. The patient was experiencing a suspected opioid overdose and had stopped breathing. Upon our arrival, Officer Willman was already on scene and had administered Narcan medication and was performing CPR with an AED attached to the patient. After our assessment, we found that the patient had regained a pulse and was attempting to breathe on their own. We administered another dose of Narcan and continued supportive care. We moved the patient to the ambulance where they regained consciousness. We transported the patient to the ER and they were awake and oriented by the time we arrived at the hospital. Officer Willman's quick actions and care for this individual is believed to have saved the patient's life. We are obviously at a disadvantage against time, having to drive to the fire station to get the ambulance first. Had Officer Willman not been there or had not been trained to use his life-saving equipment, I believe the patient's outcome would not have been as positive. So we would like to award you with a life-saving pin, and I'm going to make you come up here too. Thank you very much.
I fixed it, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Officer Willman.
Thank you.
Okay, number 11, we had Cops for Kids. Officer Rath. Come up to the podium, state your name and address, please.
Hi, I'm Officer Rath. I've been with Valley for about a year, and prior to coming here, I spent 9 years with Omaha. So the mayor asked me to come tonight to speak with you guys about a couple programs that we had in Omaha that we would like to bring to Valley. The first one is Kids and Cops. Kids and Cops has been around for approximately 8 years, and it's where we help terminally ill kids within the community and beyond. We have partners with a lot of organizations such as the Omaha Symphony, Manheim Steamroller, Hy-Vee, places like that. And we provide the families with tickets to events and meals and things like that to give them a break from what they've been going through. If you Google my name, you'll see all the news interviews and everything that we've done over the years. We've been acknowledged by every news station, including national news. It's a good program that we do, and it's good PR. And we would like to bring that to Valley for the police and fire to get involved. When this was primarily an Omaha program with partners, they did contribute approximately $3,000 a year. That was fairly tight, but we would like to ask the same from Valley. And that's for the first program. So before I go on to the next one, I don't know if you guys have any questions regarding that.
Tell us a little bit about the kids in our community, kind of who you hope to work with. I know you said terminally ill, but as we're a small community, obviously maybe not as abundant here from that standpoint.
So
Talk just a little bit about that and how you're going to work locally.
So we work with all the hospitals, so it wouldn't be just Valley, it would be all the surrounding areas. So if we had someone within Valley that was terminally ill, we could either grant a wish or find out what that specific person needs. The other thing that we've done is take fire trucks, police vehicles, dogs, things like that, things that they would have fun with, to the kids and to the events. So not only could we do the same thing in Valley, but it's the same thing that we do in town. We go to the hospitals, we take, for instance, children's, they would like to have the police chief come there. Hopefully we can go with the kids. They have 30 to 50 kids. We're hoping to take him and the fire chief, and this would be the second time that we've gone back. So it's a combination of us going in town to the big city where the hospitals are. We work with Children's, the Med Center, Ronald McDonald House, Carolyn Scott Rainbow House, Make-A-Wish, Muscular Dystrophy, and Angels Among Us. So every organization in town that has kids, we've been going to them. We've partnered with other agencies as well. So.
Okay, any other questions? Okay.
Okay, do you want me to continue on to the next? Okay. The second one is an animal program that we started about 2 years ago. Similar concept, we're helping different animals rescued in the community that need assistance. For example, we would take Omaha Fire to the Humane Society, take pictures, post it online. Within a week, the animal would be adopted. There's just simple things like that. Right now, we have no budget for it. It's just the involvement with the police and fire. The other part of this, we just recently added a therapy dog to the program. What we would like to do is share this amongst multiple agencies. The cost of a dog solely just for us would be anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000. Police canines are approximately $15,000 just for the dog. Then you have the vehicle, then you have all the extras that you have to add onto the vehicle. So if we separate this amongst multiple agencies, we can cut the cost as a fraction. So then we could still have this since the city is growing. I don't have a price on that because that would be dependent upon how many agencies would like to be involved. I've already spoken with 2 different ones that are close by, and they'd like me to bring it to their council as well.
So what are you seeking tonight?
Approval for the Kids and Cops Fund, and then approval that you would like to be a part of the animal program so that we can start utilizing fire, police with those resources in town, and then approval that you are interested in going down the path of the therapy animal. Once we know how many agencies are involved with that, then we'll have a price.
Is there some department that has a goat? Is that?
That was Douglas. Supposedly one of their officers had a goat at home and brought it in.
Do you want to get a goat?
We could add that too.
No, they're- He's all dressed up and fenced and everything.
I think his name is Cow, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think his name is Cow.
Yeah.
Hey, he brought it up. All right, any other questions, thoughts? I think it would be a good way to get some good publicity for the police department and give back to the community and kids, but ultimately up to you guys.
I think as far as the therapy dog, right at the moment, we need to put that on hold and see what's going on with our current situation.
Yeah, I would follow Linda. I think that makes
But
sense.
the other things I'm okay with.
So kind of the first two, I think, is where I would come out to support, and then the other, I would agree. I think that's down the road if ever.
Okay. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we do a motion? Go ahead.
Well, she's asking for $3,000, I think you need to deal with that.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the proposal for the kids, Cops for Kids, and, the dog program where police chief goes
Over there.
into there.
Just pulling out the therapy dog.
Correct, yep.
I second it. I make that motion.
And authorize the donation.
Yeah, I make that motion.
Okay, any other discussion?
What?
Yeah.
Your turn.
I think that would be a good use of Keno funds if we have no funds available.
Yep.
Good idea.
Okay, any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. Yes, vote please.
I'm sorry,
All in favor?
a second.
John.
Thank you.
Okay, number 12, West Condren Street closure request. Beth?
Hello, I'm Beth Lovelady, my address is 111 West Conroe. I am here, there's 4 of us, they all graduated this year, they've all grown up on West Condren. Kinda grown up on West Condren. But we would like to close the street for a graduation party on May 18th from 11 a.m. to 6, 7, so 8, 9.
So.
No, we can't, you gotta give us a time, ladies.
Yeah, I would say till 9, it might be earlier, we don't know how many people are gonna show up because there is 4 families. So,
And you're talking from west to Maine?
from west to Main. We'll have if barricades in a little bit so some of the families can, park down there if they need to leave and whatnot. And we'll be letting the families that aren't part of it know, but I mean, there's 12 houses and I know pretty much everybody except for 2 of the families, so.
Questions?
I have no problem with it.
Police, any issues?
No, sir.
I don't have a problem with it, but I think we're gonna be opening ourselves up for this request more in the future than too.
I think that's a great thing for a small town to be able to say yes to. Let's do it.
All right,
I don't have a problem with it. I make a motion, we do it.
you're making the motion?
Yes.
Okay,
Second.
okay, any other questions or discussion? Vote please. All in favor? Thank you.
Thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Okay, number 13, the 48 State Tour Workshop, Krista.
Hello, I am Krista Lewis. I live at 1107 Southeast Street. I am returning because we actually got an email from the 48 State Tour and they're requesting to return to our cemetery and bring a documentary crew and film another restoration workshop. For those of you that don't know, last summer, the cemetery board was able to host Jonathan Apple, who is the owner of the 48 State Tour. Sorry, he runs the 48 State Tour. He owns Atlas Preservation, which is a company that preserves monuments. He's world known. He works all across the country at government monuments and things. So he's very well known. But what he came and did last time was he taught us how to repair the stones, how to clean them safely without damaging the history. He helped us learn to do the foundation of them, all those kinds of things. And so what our request is we would like to have permission for him to return again. This time they've given us a specific date, which is Monday, July 22nd. With that, I think what's changed is we still need pea, gravel, sand, water. The city employees to help us again with cleaning up the cemetery. Everything was beautiful last time. I think the biggest change is we just need permission for them to come, and then obviously for the documentary guy to actually film. I assume anybody who attends will probably have to sign some sort of a waiver or something to be shown, but.
I think you've done a great job, and I think we need to go ahead and make the motion to do this.
And I can answer questions if anyone has questions, because I know we're gonna have to make a few changes probably, but.
Like what?
Well, last year we were able to have lunch donated, but I don't think that's gonna be an option this year from that donor. And then if you look at page, which I know it was long, sorry, if you look at page 3, I had mentioned that the access to a restroom was kind of a hindrance. We had comments from a few attendees that they didn't love that they had to leave to use the restroom. So I think maybe it might be worth considering either a sponsorship or asking for donations so we could provide like maybe just one portable bathroom. But besides that, that's the changes I can think of, is the permission to be on their social media, permission to use our footage in future videos and in a documentary.
Perfect. I would entertain a motion to approve this request.
So moved.
Any other discussion?
Is that Keno funded?
Can be. Yeah, could be.
Sounds good to me.
Vote please. All in favor, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Krista, you did a great job in presenting this, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is super helpful.
I'm excited about it.
All right, number 14, 2024 Roland Nicolan Annual Bike Ride. Alan?
Hi, I'm Dr. Alan Thorson. I'm a colorectal surgeon in Omaha. And I think this is mostly information for you guys.
Can you state your address too?
Oh, it's 1528 North 132nd Avenue Circle. So this will be our 16th annual bike ride called Roland Nicolan. I represent actually the Great Plains Colon Cancer Task Force, which is a 501c3. We've been in existence since 1999, working on raising awareness of colon cancer and the importance of being screened and preventing colon cancer. We have a number of activities throughout the year. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, but we actually have activities spaced throughout the year to keep this in the forefront, not just during 1 month out of the year, but throughout the year. So in March and April, we give out FIT kits, which is a home-based screening test. In April, we work with Hydro CrossFit Gym in Omaha. They do a burpee challenge, which for all the people here who like to do burpees, it's a team of 2 that do 240.
Who likes to do burpees?
Yeah, I don't know, I just thought to throw that out. 244 burpees timed as a team of 2, so it's an interesting event, very physical. And then in June, we have the bike ride, this year's scheduled June 9th, and we have a Boxer 500 in August, and we also have a golf tournament in August. So those are the things that we do to keep awareness open. So this year's bike ride will be the 16th annual. It's scheduled for June 9th, as I mentioned. We start at 7:30 in the morning. We start at DC West High School. I've been working with Nathan Tirviste, I believe, there, maintaining that relationship. We have a 53-mile ride. You know, Nebraska is blessed with one of the 5 colons in the United States. So we developed this ride, Roland Nicolan, appropriately named for colon cancer. So we start at DC West, and then we have several distances that people can go. We go down Pine, by the high school, and then across Meigs to 288th, up to Highway 64, across the Platte River, take 64 over to Highway 77. So we have a spot just beyond the Platte River that can turn around there and have a 10-mile bike ride. If you go up to Highway 77, you can turn around and have a 20-mile bike ride. If you go south on 77 down to Meade and then come back, you have a 30-mile bike ride. But if you do the full bike ride to Colon, down by, take 77 to 109, 109 to Cedar Bluffs down to Colon, have a nice big swag there to get some energy back. down by Lake Wanahoo, over on 7792 to Mead, up 77 to 64 and back to Valley. That's 53 miles. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. I do have some cards, if anybody's interested in a card. If you have a business that would be willing to hand out some cards or put them in your place of business, I'd be happy to pass those out and help get some promotion for the ride. We historically have had about 400 bikers at a time. That fell off in 2020 with COVID, and we're kind of trying to build back up now. So any questions at all?
And remind me, we don't close any actual streets, right? They all stay on one
Not
side.
had any close. I've been working with Brett Smith, been talking with him, and we've never actually closed streets that I know of, so we'll work with the police department on that.
Anybody have any questions?
Anyone who wants to join, be happy to have you, okay? If you don't want to ride, you can always volunteer and help us out, so,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
We do need formal approval on
Okay, number 15, park tree report. Mike?
Good evening, council. Mike Weekor, State 24 Southeast, Tree Board Chairman. Back that off a little bit so I'm not yelling at you. At our February Tree Board meeting, we discussed the upcoming potential changes with the park. Some concerns with the trees. We were seeing a lot on Facebook, social media from a lot of the residents that they were concerned about losing some of the mature tree canopy throughout the city, especially in our main park. In light of that, I reached out to JEO, which is the engineer on the project, talked to Jonathan Hawk, who's the landscape architect, just to kind of feel him out, see how, what his plans were and such for that. And it was just kind of early in the process. I said, well, what can we do to help? He said, if you want to just go to the park and figure out which trees are not doing so hot that would be good candidates for removal, we could do that, and then we could overlay that into the plan for the park so we can adjust infrastructure as necessary to keep our impact minimal on the existing tree canopy. With that in mind, we knew, again, this is obviously a really important project. A lot of people are very passionate about this project, so I reached out to the Nebraska Forest Service, got a hold of Graham Herbst, who is the community forest specialist for the east side of the state. He met me out on at the park, and we did a walkthrough, basically evaluated all the main trees inside the main body of the park. So not the perimeter trees, but the ones that would be impacted. After evaluating all those trees, came up with about 9 that looked like, yeah, they're pretty well in decline, have some significant structural damage or deficiencies, or have overall like insect infestation and things like that. Just good candidates to come out. Found those 9 trees and marked them. Obviously that's not a death sentence for those trees because we're early in the process, but they're pretty well in decline as it is. So they would be, regardless of what happens with the park, those trees are a liability at this point and should come out. I think you guys got a copy of the NFS report from that meeting. We took that information back to the tree board meeting April 1st, discussed that. Moving forward, as let me back up a little bit. We did that on-site consultation without knowing where anything would potentially be. We didn't have a phase 1 draft or anything like that to know where infrastructure is. At the June meeting that we're gonna have, I think it's the 13th of June, we're hoping to have either Jonathan Hawk from JEO or his representative meet us on site, or excuse me, not on site, at our meeting and go over where phase 1 layout is so we can see, does that coincide with the trees that need to be removed? Are there any additional trees that will have to come out? And then adjust the planting schedule for that too. So any new trees that we're gonna plant, we'd like to see like a 1 to 3, for every 1 tree removed, 3 trees get planted. Obviously that's ideal. If there's room for it, great. If there's not, that's what we're advocating for. So that was our big takeaway from our April 1st meeting, in addition to planning Arbor Day at the school. And then we just discussed overall community forest health with Graham. Graham was in attendance at our April 1st meeting. A lot of people had a lot of questions, a lot of things got explained. So very productive meeting. Any questions? No? Cool.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, number 16.
I got a question.
Okay.
All right. How's that getting funded? If we had to cut some trees down in there, do we got park money for that?
Well, it'll be part of the phase 1 plan. It already included whatever demolition it needed, and that's why he went through and marked the trees so that they could work around that. So it'll be
And
included.
40 trees to be removed, we should have a second bid.
It's part of the park plan though, so JEO will do all the bidding for the contractor work through that plan. Yep. Yep. Yes. Okay.
If we choose not to move forward with that whole park plan or delay that, do we need to address these trees in any way, shape, or form? Because if
Yes, we
they,
would have to. The trees need to come out either way.
Yeah.
Yes.
so, good. Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Number 16, park playground equipment alarm inspection report. Dave, are you gonna cover that?
Dave Patak, interim city administrator. As part of the ongoing park planning, one of the things that we thought we needed to do was to look at all the playground equipment in the park. So Alarm is our liability insurance carrier for the city. We contacted them. They came out in February and did a site review of all the playground apparatus in the various areas of the park. And as you can see from their report, there's 4 levels of priority as far as that equipment. Obviously, one of the things that was the biggest concern was the age of some of the equipment, specifically the 2 rubber swing seats with serious fractures on both sides. I think okay, Doug and his crew have replaced those, so that is a good thing. All the other areas basically needed some attenuation material, which are basically wood chips. I think Public Works has also addressed that. I think they got a semi-load of wood chips and have dispersed those throughout all the parks in town. So right now, we're still in the design process for the park renovation, and it was nice to get an idea of what the condition of the playground equipment was.
Okay, any questions? All right, thanks, Dave. Okay, number 17 is resolution 2023-24, which is the pool management agreement with the Twin Rivers YMCA. Doug or Christie, is there any changes that we need to be aware of for this year?
Other than, no, they requested an increase in their management fee from $11,000 to $11,200. Other than that, he just changed the dates.
Okay.
Yeah, the dates were changed,
Okay.
updated to 2024 dates.
Okay.
And didn't we increase the cost of admission?
No, just left that.
We decided that.
Okay. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve resolution 2024-24.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion or questions? Vote please. All in favor?
You said 24, isn't it?
Sorry, yes, 23, resolution 2024-23. Okay. The next item for passage is resolution 2024-24, which is a procedural item we need to have in place to ensure we're meeting the correct fair labor standards. Christie or Dave, do you guys have any comments on this one?
No, other than, like you said, to meet the First Labor Standards Act.
I would entertain a motion to approve resolution 24-24.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there any other discussion or questions? Vote please. All in favor? Number 19, people service.
Good evening, Mike Adair, People Service Inc. Flushing hydrants is coming to an end. Hopefully by the end of this week, we will be completed with that. We have heard good reports from the guys as far as flushing the hydrants. They ain't nowhere near it was last year as far as the brown water coming out of the main, so that's a good sign. The water plant upgrade is almost complete. Hopefully the backwash stuff will be here soon and then we can get that done. I don't see Jim here, so I can't speak on too much of that. Ice pigging, gonna bring that up next. We do have a quote from the company from Florida for $56,000, which is underneath our $60,000 that I did budget for this. So that's good. Greg and I now got to work on how we're going to do this because there are a lot of complicated valving that has to happen in order for us to do this because of the way that the town's valved. But I'm sure that we get that done. We just got to figure out how that's going to happen before we get them down here. We have not signed the quote yet. He's doing his full review on that, like long full review on that. So hopefully once that is complete, then we can sign it and we can get them scheduled. We will be working off of their schedule. We are too small for them to mobilize just for us. So they do have a couple more in the Midwest that they will be working on in the middle of summer. So we're kind of hoping to get into that groove so that we can get this done before fall. So that's the ice pigging question so far.
How's that work?
They open up a hydrant, force ice in it to another hydrant down the street, and it scours the mains. And we close valves on each side of it, so we don't interrupt anything in the system. Pressure doesn't increase, pressure doesn't decrease. We just isolate blocks, if you will, and then we flush that out. So it's pretty cool. There'll be a semi here that makes its own ice, and then they'll eject it and then flush it out the other side and just let it melt.
How many times it go through?
It's not really how many times, it's for how long do they bring the ice through, right? Because they'll sample right away, they'll sample halfway through, and they'll continually sample until it becomes where we want it to be. Once again, ice pigging is not true pigging, all right? True pigging is when we have to dig down, cut the main open, and force a pig, they call it, but it's just like a little not Nerf, but plastic rubber bullet, the size of the main, and it actually just shoves everything right through it. That takes mains down for quite a while. It does mess with the pressure. A lot of construction happens too, so it's a very inconvenient way compared to this ice pigging. So the ice pigging will scour everything that will come off just by pressure or water main breaks or something like that. So we're pretty confident, and with the research that we've done with this company, we're pretty confident that we're gonna be able to clean to where our problems are today.
Mike, how much pipe will you clean?
We are cleaning most of Proper Valley.
So
West Street, Main Street, East Street, Pine Street, and then most of the streets going east and west from Gardner to Meigs. So I included kind of this whole square, including Whittingham, and Waring, and Charles all the way to Park, and Alexander all the way to Park, so that big square.
Based on the success of that, you anticipate looking at doing the rest of Proper Valley, where some of those older mains are, which we believe are causing the problem?
Yes, next year I'll ask again for some money, so that then we can continue to go on this part and get all of that too.
Good.
So, but we gotta do it piece by piece, you know.
When you're doing this, so are the residents gonna be affected?
The people that were working on that main, yeah, we'll have the water off while we're doing this, yes.
Okay, so you're gonna notify, these
Of
families are
course.
gonna be notified, right?
Of course. Yes, we'll have a schedule made up and everything,
Okay.
and we'll publicize that, that's schedule.
Good.
Just like flushing hydrants, we're not gonna say on this date, at this time, we're gonna be here.
Yeah,
We're gonna say that we're gonna start here, once completion of this, we're gonna move here, once completion of this, we move here, and then keep the public updated as we actually move, right? Because complications, things take longer sometimes, so we don't give an actual schedule, we'll just keep notifying as we move along.
okay.
Will there be any residue left that could get into a person's house?
No, the one thing with any time that you work on any kind of main, service lines can be affected to a small amount. We will be educating all of the homeowners that, flush your lines before you do anything with it after we come through your street. Because, once again, that service line feeds off that main, right? So, from the main to their house, there could be something in there still that they just gotta flush out. Yes, yeah, but that's just unavoidable.
I'd take us back just a little bit. We know there's been a lot of progress at the plant, and you talked a little bit about that in your report that you gave us. But right now, you're producing, talk about the water you're producing at the plant, and then as we improve these conditions of the line, what's happening to that water? Just talk a little bit about the new filter media and some of those things that you've.
Yes, nothing has changed at the plant. We are removing 98 to 99% of iron and manganese, which is what that plant is actually rated for. The improvements to the plant was to improve production, not to improve quality. We have always had quality water leaving that plant. We have all the documentation, we have all the testing, we have everything that we can show that. It's to improve the quantity, not the quality. If we wouldn't have done what we are doing, then we sacrifice quality for quantity, and we don't want to do that. So, but even with the current upgrades that we are doing, we need the final upgrade, which Greg and I are working on, to put the 4 new filters in, because that'll double our capacity. With the improvements that we have done now, we're just gonna keep up for this year, 24 hours a day. Just today, because of the nice day, our tower is currently at 27 feet and it's supposed to be at 40 feet. Because everybody is watering tonight. And I've been watching it the whole time here because obviously I'm extremely concerned. But, I just wish everybody would understand that we need to conserve water. So odd and even days, we don't need to water our yards every single day. I actually beg you all, because I can sleep once in a while. Because, we're at, 2 hours ago, we were at 25 feet. We're supposed to be at 40. That affects fire protection, it just affects everything. And until we double our capacity, we're gonna be where we are. Facts are facts. So, does that answer your question, or did I ramble? That's what I do. So the final thing that I want to touch on is lead and copper inventory. We posted that out for everybody to fill out the inventory sheet questionnaire. This is an EPA rule that is happening. There's no way out of it. Every public water system has to provide an inventory of their service lines and what they're made of. So this survey that's been put out and all the communication now, please spread the word, and then everybody can do this so that we get this done, because the EPA is requiring this. So we need to get this done. That's it.
Yes, and just to reiterate, the ways you can complete that survey are online.
Yes.
Through a paper form that we have here. You can go to the library, they will assist you. There's multiple ways you can do it.
Yes, and I believe it's all been communicated already very well to what they can do.
No, we have not sent out that.
Oh, you
press release
haven't?
yet,
Okay. Well, surprise!
no. Correct, thank you. All right, any other questions? No, okay, city engineer.
Good evening tonight. Greg Perry, city engineer. Tonight on item A, then we have Stillwater Phase 1 paving and storm sewer improvements. This is really along 276 Circle north of West Street. And L&L Concrete has provided pavement application number 1 in the amount of $49,086. That's about 30% of their construction contract, and they're waiting to get their subcontractor in there to do the asphalt overlay on that portion, which would be basically the remainder of the work for that. But this is just progress payment tonight, so we do recommend approval of that pay request and that said amount. Mr. Bryan.
Area of, again, to repeat that.
This is 276th Street north of West Street. Sorry, 276th Circle. Sorry. North of Ace Hardware, basically there.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve resolution 2024-25, which is to approve NL&L concrete application for payment number 1 and the amount of $49,086.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
I would like to, at our next meeting, I'd like to have Mr. Hampton come here to answer some questions.
Okay. We can sure ask him.
Yeah, I would really, I heard there's some issues going on out at Stillwater, and I would like for him to answer them specifically.
Okay, I think it would be good if, you can get with Dave and they can set up a meeting too. I don't know that we need to take a public council meeting for that. We can work with Dave and set up a meeting. We can be involved.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion on this resolution? Okay, vote please. 2 in favor, 1 against.
Then continuing in Stillwater Phase 2 paving, this will be Heron Street, which will be a new street off of 276 Circle. That would parallel Highway 275 basically. It's about 1,000 feet if I remember correctly. Tonight we just have a progress payment in the amount of $19,750.05. That's just some prep work and little concrete work they got ready. They actually have a subcontractor coming in to form that street. It was planned for today, and then they have delayed that to next Wednesday, the 17th, just due to concrete availability and the contractor's schedule there. So tonight we are just asking for approval of payout number 1, which is amount of $19,750.05.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution 2024-26 to approve NL&L concrete application for payment number 1 and the amount of $19,750.05.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Vote please. 2 in favor, 1 against.
Then finally, I should say, just from a FY24 concrete street repairs, this is miscellaneous panels throughout proper town. Basically, Doug and I had identified panels for this just as a budgeted street project, similarly that we did in the Pines subdivision last year. So this is just another continuation of that. It's miscellaneous panels. We did receive bids last Tuesday. We got 7 bids, had 9 plant holders, which was tremendous interest. The low bid was Metro Driveway Replacement LLC. It's a contractor we had never worked with before for our firm or with Valley also. We did do reference checking and talked to 3 of the references. They provided a list of about, I think, 8. We called 6 of them, the recent 6, and got responses from the 3 of them. And everybody gave them good recommendations. They haven't done any work like that. They gave them good reviews. They had 1 crew, basically about 10 to 15 guys. So they are comfortable completing the work, but it is a new company. But we've done what we feel is evaluation of there, and they gave us a qualification statement that was almost 20 pages. So he said he has done this for other places as well, but he hasn't done any work for a local government. Their bid amount was $166,000 and some change. The next bid was $169,000, so it's competitive. The estimate that we had was $2 2.25. That included 10% contingency, so which would have put us basically right in the middle of those 8 bids that we received. It looks like 8 instead of 7, excuse me. So having reviewed that, we do recommend award of the contract to Metro Driveway Replacement LLC in their bid amount.
How much concrete is that in that big area?
I think it's about 25 different areas.
About 100 pads.
Yep.
100 pads?
Yep. So And it's pretty much scattered throughout old kind of proper valley, if you will.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to award the contract to Metro Driveway Replacement LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, vote please. All in favor?
And then I left on these miscellaneous updates for the 3 lift station projects that we have been trying to get completed. I really don't have any report tonight because we don't have any update on the last materials that Jetco is waiting on to get in stock, so that way the contractor can complete that work. So we will continue to push on them to get that material. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you. City Attorney?
Well, I think the big news this month, we've been working for 3 years on cleaning up a property east of town.
Like 13, but.
Yeah, quite a while. We've had many court hearings, many court orders. We reached the deadline in the final court order in March, and that order provided that if the property wasn't cleaned up, we could go in and clean it up. We did that. Rune worked with the police department and got it done in what, 2 days, Rune?
Day and a half.
Day and a half.
Friday and Saturday.
So hopefully we're done with that. I've been talking about it for a long time, and it's nice to think we might not be having this conversation in the future. Other than that, pretty much the same report. We've got 3 or 4 projects that are percolating at various stages. The property west of Menards wants to meet with the TIF committee. Christy and I are trying to line that up. The Flatwater Estates people want to do some things. I need to visit with Rune. I think we need to have an initial sort of pre-app meeting as the first step, so we'll try and do that this next month. Haven't heard anything from EAA. They're still evaluating it, as I discussed last month. Other than that, we've spent some time on various personnel matters in the last month, and that's it. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, City Administrator?
Well, I'm happy to announce that the city is currently under audit with a new audit firm for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023. The creative planning firm of Omaha, Nebraska is assisting and guiding the city's finance department through this process, and it will be available to support the city even after the audit is completed. The city finance department, headed by Lori Sorensen, our city treasurer, is focused on getting a quality audit, and we cannot discuss it because it's ongoing at the present time, so we don't know how it's going to end up in that regard. The new auditors are in the process of reviewing the beginning balances from the prior fiscal year, because you have to have a known starting point. The city finance department is moving in a positive direction with newly adopted changes to the upcoming annual physical report, and there are more changes planned for the current year's financial report to be done at the close of this fiscal year, which is on September 30th, 2024. We'll certainly keep you apprised of any additional upcoming changes that will enhance the city's internal controls, which is always difficult when you have a small staff as far as to ensure those internal controls as they are made. So we look forward to, in the next several months, to complete our fiscal year 2023-24 audit and report back to you.
Any questions for Dave? No?
Okay, thank you.
I just want to say thank you to Lori for all your work too. Very good job finding all of the things that have happened all over the years, lots of years. So thank you. All right, mayor's report. Cleanup day is April 20th. I know that wasn't on the upcoming items. We forgot to get that on there. That is next week. We will be sending out the sewer consumption letters just to update everybody on what their sewer consumption average went to for this year. We do have the new police cruiser finally up and going. It looks pretty sharp if you haven't seen it. And then Rune also passed his residential plans examiner certification last week. So you're at what, 7 certifications now or 10 or a lot?
Yeah, it's 7 technically, yeah, 10 technically, but some of them combined, so yeah, 7.
Congratulations on that. And then other upcoming items, Planning Commission next Tuesday at 4:30, Valley Days Planning next Tuesday at 6, and then as we've said, the Arbor Day event, April 26th. Any questions? No? All right, have a good night, everyone.